Welcome to the Colin with the Boys podcast, where we bring you new content creators every week. We are your hosts, Asen and Nathan.
Hello.
Oh my God. Where's your what up?
Dude, I wanted to change it up a little bit this week. Give them the old
All right.
hello.
Hello. Hey,
Hello.
Lizard. Hey, Lizard.
Hey, lizard.
This is episode 35, titled The Return of Disco Jesus.
Oh, shit.
Today we talk to Corokov, an up-and-coming new streamer on the Twitch platform. We talk about name generators, Spider-Man, and dying after retirement.
Come on now. I didn't say dying after retirement. That was...
Yeah, you did, dude. I'm talking about dying.
So I'm checking out early.
Yeah. Dying after retirement.
Yeah.
This episode has its highs and lows, so get ready to laugh 1 minute and then feel bad for Nathan the next.
Oh.
All right, guys, sit back, relax, and open a cold one.
Yeah. I just wanna crack that door with that boys, yeah. No more baby mamas, no more kids to watch, cause I got babysitters. Now it's time for liquor, come on, give it to me, cause it's my escape. Now it's time to annihilate, so my troubles all die away. I'm on a diet, Please do not try this, cause do not invite it. I'm dripping in go call the Midas. This night I was excited, it got me reignited. I've been waiting so long I can't fight it, but now I'm Mike Tyson inside, I'm on fire. It ain't nothing like a true bro. Brotherhood worth more than a huge blow. With two hoes, two back with a new.
Hello, this is Corokov.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Is that how you pronounce that? Corokov? I don't even know.
Corokov.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't saying it for the last 5 minutes, sounding like an idiot.
The first thing that a lot of people say is, "Are you Russian? That sounds super Russian." No.
I was just about to ask
delved
that.
into it. I delved into it, and apparently Korokov appears to be super, super Polish,
I could see Polak, yeah.
and I have no idea how in the world I even came up with it, because I came up with the name, God, it was like more than 10 years ago, whenever I was in middle school. I was playing World of Warcraft for the first time.
Hell yeah.
With some friends. Hell yeah. And I need to come up with a name. And I was like, Korokov.
Corokov.
Done.
Hit that random button.
And that just kind of stuck.
Mhm.
So whenever I need to come up with names for anything else, I just use that.
Nice. I mean, it's unique in a way. It does sound Russian, but I haven't heard it before.
I mean, yeah, if you search Korokov anywhere else, you're going to see a few Russian things and then me.
Yeah. It's funny because I was going to say my last name ends with OV, so a lot of people think I'm Russian, but actually...
He's just Bulgarian and boring.
Wow, let me tell my story, you bastard.
Are those two just regular things that go hand in hand?
No. Well, like...
Being Bulgarian and boring?
Well, like Bulgarians, pretty much 99% of Bulgarian last names have an OV end to their surname. And in Russia, that's very different. Like you have Shevchenko, that's Russian, shit like that, where there's not a lot of OV names actually in Russia. I mean, there is, but Bulgaria has pretty much all the OV names, but I've never heard Korokov, so it's definitely not Bulgarian. I can tell when the name's Bulgarian, but either way, I was gonna ask you what was behind the name, and it's actually pretty simple. But not all of them have to be complex, Like, who Donald Glover is?
Yes,
You know how he got his rapper name?
I do.
Who is Donald Glover? I have no idea who that
Childish Gambino,
is.
the rapper that did This Is America.
This Is America. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only song of his I've ever heard, so.
He's really good, but he got his name from like a generator, one of those name generators.
Oh, really?
Like you enter your first, last name, the street number you grew up on, and your mom's maiden
Right.
name, and your childhood dog's name, and boom, you've got a rapper name,
Yep.
Yep.
or you've got a porn star name, or you've got something else.
I mean,
Is that really where he got it from?
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
he
he
said
said.
it in an
That's-
interview before.
I mean, that kind of sounds like one of those generated names, Childish Gambino.
It does.
I mean,
a way.
if I ever become a porn star, I'm going to use the generated name that came up for me, Woody Hammercheeks.
Woody Ham. Is that really what you've gotten before?
Yeah,
Oh my!
I typed in all the info. And it's like Woody Hammercheeks. Like that's perfect. I'm done. I'm good now.
Woody Hammer Cheeks.
The fact that he remembers it enough to not even have
Yeah.
to look up, he just has this information.
It's so good. That's the only one that's worth remembering.
Woody Hammercheeks.
Yeah,
That's
I've
awesome.
never. I mean, I've done those generators before, but I don't remember any of the names. A
I don't
lot of
think
them
I've-
are. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I've ever done one before.
I have, but like a lot of them are bullshit because I'll put in my first and last name and I'll get a name. And they'll be like, go to my friend, hey dude, put in your information. He puts in his and it's the same name. I'm like, there's something fishy about this. I don't know about this.
It's like 10 random
Yeah.
names.
Just picks one
That's funny.
from it. But that's cool, man. So you got it from playing World of Warcraft. Well, if you've listened to any other episodes, you'll definitely know we're Warcraft nerds.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you still partake in the Warcrack?
I'm not going to lie. I've spent a good chunk of today looking at the World of Warcraft tab on my Blizzard.net or my Battle.net account and be like, I really should kick this back up again.
Don't do it, dude.
Because I've been watching other people play it, and I was like, damn, I need something like long and arduous to play just so I can pour a lot of time into because I've got a lot of extra time right now. And I was like, that's a perfect way to do it.
There you go.
It's a time killer, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's a good time. This is the thing, like right now on Reddit, I don't know if you go on Reddit at all, but for long-time WoW players, there's a lot of complaining like a lot of complaints about this expansion out there right now, just because of, I guess, it wouldn't make much sense to someone that hasn't been playing the game, but there's just a lot of monotony in it. But every one of them ends with, I'm still enjoying the current expansion. I just wish there was some more variety. And that I get that same feeling. Like I love the game, but at the same time I understand what they're talking about. It's really weird, but it's like I'm sure if you got it, you would still love the hell out of it.
When was the last time you played?
The last time I played, it's probably been about 3 years, I think.
So pre-Legion?
The last expansion I remember in detail, I think it was just before the Pandaria expansion.
So
Because I remember Lich King extensively,
Cataclysm.
but anything past that, it's still kind of fuzzy.
Cataclysm with the
Okay.
big dragon
Mm-hmm.
burning.
Oh, Cataclysm. Yeah.
So that's
that's-
been
I remember
that's
that
more
one.
than 3 years. That's like 5.
I remember Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah, especially there was a huge change from Cataclysm to Miss Pandaria.
Mhm.
And they've been trying things ever since with each expansion, except this newest one is a lot like Legion, which was the previous one. So if you played Legion, it's pretty similar to that. But I mean, if you have a lot of time and you need like a time sinker, you'll get a lot of fun out of it for sure. So I would recommend it, but I'm also recommending you to like sell your soul to the Blizzard gods. So
All I need is like another day or two of just staring at it and then thinking
It'll
about it,
get you eventually.
going to
dude.
sleep one night, waking up, going, screw
Yep.
it, and then just buying it.
Mhm. Voodoo magic on the Blizzard.net app. That's for sure.
it's, a lot of people, when I tell them I play World of Warcraft, they're like, oh, it's such a waste of money. You pay a subscription, $15 a month. And I'm like, I actually save a lot of money because I usually just stick to World of Warcraft. Like I have other games and I play other games with people. But typically I stay to WoW, and other people are buying a lot of these new games that come out, and that's automatically like 3 months of my game time to buy a different
In one
game.
game. Yep.
In one game that they may play for 15 hours, 15, 30 hours and then leave. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say how much time I have in Warcraft, so I'll leave that out. But
No shame. No shame.
I've played since vanilla. I mean, it's been on and off. I haven't played like straight, never stopping. But let's just say since March 2005, which is when I got the game, that I have about a year of my life straight on WoW.
Are there times when that bothers you?
Yeah,
It's like I spent a year of my life playing this.
like straight, like day and night, a year total.
A
Game
whole
time.
year of your childhood is just gone, dude.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say it that way because I've had a lot of good memories. I've met a lot of good people on World of Warcraft.
You met
So
your girlfriend on there.
I met my girlfriend on there, and now we live together.
Hot damn.
So, I mean, I've liked the game. It's done me good.
It's still so weird to have you be one of those people that met their girlfriend on WoW, probably will marry the girl that you met on WoW. Like, that was just like the extreme fucking nerdism I've ever heard in my entire life. And now my best
That's
friend
like,
has it.
it's like that's the power fantasy of every nerd.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, now we live together. We have both of our desks right near each other. Every time like a gamer friend of mine comes over, they're like, "Holy shit, this is like a dream! Like your two setups right next to each other, and you guys play the same games. Holy shit!" So I mean, it
Yeah, dude, she eats up half the internet.
yeah, that's the way I look at it. It's like I'm getting latency. Are you downloading porn? What the fuck's going on?
I'm in the middle of a raid. For God's sake.
Yeah. But either way, it might take a few more days, but it'll get around to you and bite you in the ass.
I'm okay with that.
Might as well just go ahead and do it now. Like
Yeah,
right now. During
While
the
we're on the
episode.
podcast,
Just
Yeah,
go
let's
ahead and
get
do
you
it, dude.
subbed.
Let's just do that. Let's just do that real quick. Done.
All right. So I checked out your stream. I've been by a few times, and you've been playing a lot of the new Spider-Man game.
Yes, absolutely.
How is the World of Spider-Man MMO going?
That is, it is baller as hell
Yeah, like it
because
for a few weeks there, like Spider-Man was played by everybody.
Isn't it
on
just
Twitch.
a remake?
I mean, if you consider it that there's been tons of other Spider-Man games done before, then technically yes.
But it's an
But
actual
it's
game.
by far the best Spider-Man game yet
Okay.
Yeah,
because they did everything that they're supposed to do with it. I mean, sure, there's the collectible side missions and everything else, but whenever you're web swinging around Manhattan, it feels so natural and it flows so well. You can spend hours just doing that.
Just flying
It
around.
feels really good. And the combat's really smooth too. If you played any of the Batman Arkham series, how the combat was just so fluid and nice. And you're just like, man, I feel like a badass. It's the same thing, but now you're like shooting goo all over the place too.
yeah.
I'm good at that. Shooting goo.
Jesus.
All over the place.
I was expecting that reaction. That's why I said it.
No, that I think a lot of these, superhero games, I think they're going to do this a lot more, by the way, not just with Spider-Man, but just with the success of the Arkham games for Batman. It has like this cult following to the Arkham games, and now they're doing Spider-Man in that kind of in that sense, because from what I saw, watching people play Spider-Man is like there's a bunch of villains all in one game, kind of like Arkham.
Mhm.
So I think they're going to start doing that with a lot of different superheroes and their bad guys, and that's something that I like seeing. So,
I say it's not hard to make a superhero game. It's if you put passionate people behind a project and actually make it based off of the comic books and not just like as a cash grab from a movie that's coming out,
Yeah.
you can make a good game.
Absolutely.
But that's been the problem with most of the other ones, excluding like Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Well, with that said, in the movies, which Spider-Man is your Spider-Man?
Is my Spider-Man?
Hashtag your Spider-Man.
It's I feel like it's not the right answer, but it's just because I'm so used to it. But Tobey Maguire is my Spider-Man.
That's the
Tobey
original, right?
Because
Yeah.
he was the first one in there because grew up in a small town. There weren't anything like comic books readily available or anything like that. So whenever you watch superhero movies or you get to know superheroes, it's like Saturday morning cartoons or something along those lines. And whenever I went to go see the Spider-Man movies for the first time, it's like, oh, he gets bit by a radioactive spider and he can shoot webs from his wrists. That's really cool. It kind of sounds weird, but that's really cool. And then like later on, whenever the Amazing Spider-Man came out and everyone else is doing their stuff, like my first thought was like, oh man, he uses gadgets for his web. That's so lame. But I was like, no, that's how it's supposed to be. And I'm like, oh shit, well, I'm a bad nerd. Cool.
Yeah. No, I felt the exact same way, and my Spider-Man is also Tobey Maguire, but for a different reason.
For the memes?
Yes. No. I actually like Spider-Man 3. That whole scene just needs to be omitted from the film. With him dancing and doing his little emo jig.
Emo Parker?
Yeah, emo Parker. But no, the reason I like Tobey Maguire so much comparatively to Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, is that the new guy? The reason I like Tobey Maguire is he looks like a nerd. Like Peter Parker is supposed to be a nerd. He's not supposed to be beautiful looking like fucking Andrew and Tom. Like they're both like freaking teenage models, and Tobey Maguire just looks nerdy. So it made a lot more sense. So he's my
This could
Spider-Man.
be a shocker, but I don't think I've ever seen any of the Spider-Man movies.
What? None of them?
I've seen clips because I know what you're talking about, and I remember seeing him get bit by the spider, and he was at school, and like it zoomed into his fingers, and it had like the little prickly things coming out of his fingers, and he beat up somebody at school, like he was doing the whole little flash thing where he was like dodging the punches and stuff. And so I've seen clips of it, but I don't think I've seen the entire movie of any of them. I'm not a Spider-Man fan, so that's probably why. But no, I've never seen them.
I think you have seen the first one. You just probably don't remember it, or it was just insignificant to you.
It was probably just insignificant. Like I don't.
Spider-Man is one of my favorite heroes, and some of his villains are some of my favorite villains.
Like I've always wanted to ask somebody other than you, because me and you will get into an argument for about 45 minutes about the question I'm about to ask you. But why? How is Spider-Man somebody's favorite character?
Because he's so different. Like
personal preference.
Like you think of a superhero, you're like, oh, flight. You think fire. You think laser beams coming out of their eyes. You think like telekinesis. But Spider-Man's just so unique, and I like him because, like, I grew up a nerd. He's a nerd. He's like representing nerds everywhere. And I also, in the comics and in early Spider-Man, like, this doesn't really come through in the movies, but he's very witty and he cracks a lot of like stupid jokes.
Mm-hmm.
He loves his quips.
Yes. His quips. So that's why I like Spider-Man. I know for you, your favorite superhero is probably Iron Man, but that's because Robert Downey Jr. made Iron Man. He wasn't like that in the comics.
Yeah.
In the comics, he was a lot more serious. He was a lot more like businessman, like, playboy. But Robert Downey Jr. definitely made him that style that he is, that you see in the Marvel universe.
Right.
So, but Spider-Man from the comics, like I grew up watching Spider-Man and Friends, which was Spider-Man, Iceman, and I think Firefly. I could be wrong about that. Someone's probably flaming right now. But That was one of my favorite shows, and I also grew up playing Spider-Man on NES, which was like uh the like side scroller where when
yeah.
you used your web, it just went up above the screens attached to something,
Attached to nothing.
something in the air.
You could be in the middle of an open field. You're still attaching to something.
Yeah.
Might be a random bird that's flying by.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's like I remember fighting like Doc Ock and Mysterio and Shocker and all those people in the game. So, I don't know. I just really enjoy Spider-Man. Always have. But that
Spider-Man is one game I'm enjoying quite a lot, but most of the games I play right now are on VR.
is that that's one thing I've always been curious about streaming. Is that something I don't see VR stream very often? Maybe it's because I don't look for it. I'm not sure. But is that common on Twitch?
It's a niche community, but there are quite a few people who do stream VR games.
Okay.
One that's very popular is VR Chat,
Yeah, of course.
and the other one is probably Beat Saber.
Oh, is that
Which,
is that where you have the two lightsabers and it's like Guitar Hero pretty much?
It's pretty much DDR for Jedis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I enjoy playing that. I've streamed that a few times. I play it maybe 1 or 2 hours a day just to kind of up my stamina because I'd like to stream that more often.
Yeah.
But like my one concern is whether or not I would want to use the HTC 5 microphone whenever I'm streaming, because you're going to hear like these awesome techno tracks, all these stuffs, and you're going to see the screen, but besides the music, you'll just hear me huffing and
Right.
puffing.
I was gonna say that looks like a pretty stamina intensive game.
It
I get
is,
tired as
and
fuck.
and one thing that people say quite often, because if you've seen me on stream, you know that I have long hair, I've got a big beard, so everyone says, "Oh, look, you're Jesus." and so whenever I play Beat Saber, it's like, dude, it's the second coming of Disco Christ. It's so cool.
Yeah. Like, is there any like really popular games on? I mean, I know VR chat is huge, but I'm saying like popular games from other consoles, like for example, like Black Ops 4 or something. Are games like that available on VR at all?
Really, no.
Okay.
A lot of the things are very niche, or they're VR exclusive, or they might be like indie titles that might have been shifted over to VR. Like one was Super Hot. That was a popular game where you always stayed stationary, and then whenever you moved, time would move.
Oof.
And so adding that component into VR where you're like grabbing things and attacking things slowly, you almost look like you're always in the Matrix while you're doing it.
I feel like
That's
that would make me sick as fuck though.
If it's in focus, it's actually not that bad.
Huh.
It also depends on the person. Some do get sick from VR.
I know I was watching Kid play, or he was actually talking about playing VR. He had got the whole VR stuff, and people were saying he should play the Skyrim VR stuff. And he said it's not like optimized for VR. And so he said whenever he tries to play it, it like gives him motion sickness or something. I don't know. Like I've watched the people do the whole stuff at Best. Like I was watching a guy climb a ladder at Best Buy, and he fell over backwards. And I was like, oh man, yeah, that would be me, because like I'm not that coordinated. So I don't know if I could get up and play a video game swinging myself around. I'd be that guy falling out my window, knocking holes in the walls. Like that's probably just not a good idea.
I've played Skyrim VR before. The only time I've ever had an issue with it was whenever I first was getting everything hooked up, because at first it was on the PlayStation VR. And it was like what I mentioned before, I didn't have everything quite optimized as far as the headset was concerned, so it wasn't absolutely clear. So I got super motion sick the first time I played it, but after I sat down, looked at it, kind of tweaked everything just right to where everything was kind of clear, you really can get immersed really well. I think my favorite experience I've had playing Skyrim VR, I was in my gaming room where I have all my equipment and everything else, and I was playing. I was underneath the town of Riften to start like the Thieves Guild quest line, and you have to go through that underground tunnel
yeah.
system, and you're fighting off all those skeevers, the giant rat things. and I was using the bow and arrow because that's fun as fuck.
Right.
Whenever you're playing that, because you can just fire so fast. I was sneaking around a corner and I was getting really close, and I arched the bow and arrow back to get ready to fire, and then I felt something actually like graze my hand, and I jumped and I freaked out. And I took my headset off, and my dog's just kind of sitting there looking at me like, "What are you doing?"
Hello.
I'm like, "Lily, get the fuck out of here!"
Oh, that would creep me out.
Yeah. Imagine if, like, what if you took your headset off and it was like a zombie IRL?
Uh-oh.
And be like, "How the fuck did you get in here? I have all this security and stuff and smart home stuff. Why didn't my sensors go off?"
As it gnaws on you.
Fuck yeah. It'd be patient 0, dude.
Patient 0.
I'm pretty sure that zombie would be considered patient
you're right.
0.
You're right.
Yeah,
I'll be patient 1.
Yep, there you go.
yeah, you dum-dum.
Hey, calm down. That's offensive. I'm reporting you to HR.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I guess I'll take it up with HR.
Yeah. That story came from work. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but HR lady was running around telling us all that if we were caught harassing people, we would all be fired on the spot. And it's kind of one of those things, like, I understand, like, you want a safe work environment and stuff like that. But she's like, I'm going around telling everybody in the company. And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, you know, are you telling me this because somebody's complaining about me, or you just blanketing the whole company?
Why wouldn't someone complain about you?
I
I complain about you to HR every day. So
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
I feel like if you have to ask that first part of that question, you probably already have your answer.
Well, it's kind of like, if you're going to blanket the whole company and tell them, you know, go around, tell everybody this, you know, there could be something that I'm saying to somebody that could possibly be offensive to them. And we won't go down this rabbit hole. But there's a lot of things that people find offensive nowadays that 10 years ago, 10 days ago, they didn't find offensive. So, you know, if you're going to go around and tell people, you know, you need to start watching what you say, if there's something specifically that I'm doing, I would like you to tell me so that I could fix it, right? You know, just telling everybody doesn't solve the issue. You need to go to that direct person and, you know, talk to them. Hey,
just communicate.
Right, exactly. Communication is key. Marriage advice too. Talk about everything.
Yeah, even when I get married, I'm still going to talk to HR. So,
your wife
where's the
is
HR
buddy?
department? It's gonna be the therapist.
Oh, sorry, that
Honey,
went way off track. But
Nathan's being a dick again.
yeah, pretty much.
She told me to take out the trash.
I was rating on WoW, and she told me to do the dishes.
Oh man,
I can't pause an online game, Mom.
You know how many times I've had that discussion with my wife? She knows now, but she still does this. Like, I raid late night, and she'll come in before she gets ready to go to bed, and we'll be in the middle of a pool or something, and she'll come over and she'll try and give me like a kiss goodnight and give me a hug and tell me goodnight and like, I love you. And then I'll be in the middle of something and I don't have time to, you know, move over to my other screen, mute my Discord, you know, so I can talk to her. So I'm just like nodding my head, and she looks at me and she like gets frustrated and she walks in front of my desk. She's like, I love you. And I just like kind of shake my head because, you know, in the middle of a raid, you want to be like, I love you too. You know, it just kind of ruins the whole mood. And then she gets mad and storms off. But
also, every time we're playing WoW and we're on voice, and he says like, I love you to his wife, I go to the mic.
Everybody.
I'm like, I love you too, dude.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the appropriate response.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
That's why I just don't say it anymore. Because I don't love this guy.
speaking of this whole like dynamic of husband and wife, so are you single, married, girlfriend, fiance?
Single.
Okay. So imagine this scenario in the future. You and your significant other are living in a house and you're playing World of Warcraft. You got back into it. You're addicted. You can't get off of it, right?
Oh,
She goes to the outlet and unplugs your internet because she wants you to do something. How do you react?
I'm processing on what the appropriate answer might be.
No. We don't want the
what I would actually say.
No, like, okay, there's
like what would I actually say? Because it is absolutely horrible. It is absolutely horrible. But if I think about it, because I live in a house right now, I'm a homeowner and I live in a house right now. And if my significant other were to unplug my internet, she would have to get on her hands and knees, crawl underneath my desk, and go to the wall that's right in front of my legs and unplug it. And the first thing that comes to mind
right
is,
in the head, dude.
is
oh god,
bitch, while you're down there.
Oh, dude, somebody would probably get kicked. Like, I'm not even joking.
What if it wasn't the outlet since it's under your feet? What if it's like she went to the garage or wherever your like power breaker is?
Oh, damn, just shut off the breaker box? Oh.
And then turn it back on.
I would check and make sure if all my equipment was okay.
Yeah.
Oh man, what if she fried your CPU too? I'm like,
oh god,
it's like divorce worthy. I'm getting.
then halfway from the walk back inside, the door would be locked and half of her shit would be thrown out the window. Probably.
That's what I'm talking about.
The reason I bring that up is because we were just discussing that, and what was it, like a week and a half ago? Nathan sent me a video of this girl that does this on YouTube for fun. Like, she tapes it. And to be fair, they could be fake outrage. But the video is literally of her like telling her boyfriend to do something, and he's like, hold on, I'm playing a game, or like I can't pause or something like that. And he's playing like Xbox, and she just goes over to the outlet and unplugs it and starts laughing while he's like raging.
Ugh. It infuriates me. And my wife knows I hate it too. Like, she would never do that. She knows that's severely disrespectful and rude. And she knows that, what I do in my free time is I play on my computer. I do this podcast, whatever. So she lets me do my thing. She's a big Netflix watcher, so she watches Netflix most of the time. So about the only time we see each other is when we pass each other in the hallway, we go to bed, or, we're eating dinner together. Otherwise, most of the time, we're on separate sides of the house. And I feel like that's probably why we have a good marriage, because, I do my thing, she does her thing.
Because you don't talk to each other.
Not that we don't talk. We talk to each other all the time. I think what it is I feel like people think when they get married, they have to spend, 95% of their time with their significant other.
Oh God,
and
no.
That's just not how it goes. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're married, you guys love each other, starting a family, whatever. See, now the dynamic can change when you have kids, very quickly, because then it comes into the whole, oh well, I'm the only one that takes care of the kid. You need to be more involved with the kid. That's why I'm not having kids, because I don't want to get into that shenanigans. But like, they're their own person. You're still your own person. You guys have to have, free time to do the things that you enjoy doing. So when you're forced to do, what this person wants or what that person wants, I feel like that causes resentment. But
absolutely, and that's why my, and I'm using finger quotes for this, reactions are a little bit more on the extreme side, because I feel like if I'm getting to the point where I've dated someone or I'm in a relationship with someone and they go as far as to do something that severe, and most likely knowing the consequences behind it, my first reaction is going to be an extreme one as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of like, while I was watching that video that I sent him, she looks kind of like a pretty girl, like she, what's the word? High maintenance, high maintenance kind of girl. He kind of looks like a high maintenance dude too. So I don't know what they've got going on, but doing something like that to me is like me walking in when she's doing her makeup and like slapping the makeup stick out of her hand onto the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just, you don't fucking do that. It's just fucking rude.
Because I feel like my proper reaction would be, the fuck, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen other videos like that of like just like spouses just embarrassing each other in like a shopping mall or something. They'll scream something that's embarrassing, or there's a video, this compilation video I saw on YouTube of like this guy and the girl. They both, like, anytime they were near a body of water, they'd push each other in the body of water.
Oh, fuck.
Just as a prank. I wonder how many phones they go through.
Jesus.
I was about to say, at that point, I would always keep a waterproof case on my phone.
Pretty much. Or they're just staged, which is probably the case.
Probably.
But, you know, those get views.
Hey, honey, let me hold your phone. Shit, is it my turn?
Yep.
So another thing I saw from when I spoke to you last, you said did you recently get back into streaming, or how long have you been streaming? Like, did you take a break in between? I think that's what I got out of it.
I really decided to do the streaming. It's only been about 5 months since I've since the thought of streaming seriously has been in my head.
Mm-hmm.
I've been streaming probably for about a month now, off and on. I'm brand new to the platform. The first thing I did was get all my equipment, get everything set up, make sure everything was optimized, and I spent months just kind of learning OBS, learning the Twitch platform, getting involved with Kid Cisco and his stream and his community to kind of understand what it would be like to be a streamer, because I'm not going to go and look at the top streamers in the world,
right,
and base my streaming off something like that. I want to look at the smaller people who make a good community, because that's where I'm going to be first. It's still just kind of learning all the stuff and wanting to give people the ability to engage besides just chatting in there, adding commands, adding things like that, giving them places to view me if I'm not on stream, like giving them links to my Discord where I'm actively in my Discord, or give them links to my YouTube channel where they can watch me do a couple goofy Let's Plays.
Nice. So with like a Let's Play, do you ever upload like clips, like compilation clips to YouTube or anything like that?
Not too much, because that started along the same time as that 4 or 5 month time span. So the current library in my YouTube videos it's not vast. It's really just one Let's Play of me and a friend playing through Resident Evil 4, the first time for me.
Mm-hmm.
But once I do add a bit more to it, and it's all just comes with time, because video editing takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Compilation videos of smaller clips or the best of or something like that, it's definitely going to be in the mix.
Yeah. I mean, like we've been thinking about doing that as well for like the APM network, starting like compilation clips and things like that. They really help out. But Kid is a really good person to learn from. Like, the first thing you really got to learn as like a Twitch streamer that I hear from everybody is you got to learn to talk to yourself, because the first few, like, it could be even years, would be you just by yourself, you know, with a very small community, and you can interact with them as much as possible. But even if 15 people are watching you, sometimes it's just quiet in your channel. So you got to learn to like basically talk out everything that's happening in the game and just kind of talking to yourself like a crazy person.
So weird, dude. Like,
one of the first things I've learned to do is whatever pops up into my head as a reaction just goes right out the mouth, with a few filters, of course.
That's one of those things I had to start doing whenever we started talking about doing this podcast, because like this, I don't know where this podcast idea came from. We were actually, I think I was in the middle of debating whether I wanted to start streaming or not, just because, you know, I'm on the computer all the time and play video games all the time. Might as well get on Twitch and, you know, see where it goes. And I feel like I'd have fun with it. And then Asim was like, well, he's like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and he's like, I don't know of very many podcasts that talk to streamers and content creators and stuff like that. So let's, you know, meld the two together and do it. And so I was like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. And so I started looking up things for how to do podcasts, and we did this for like 6 months. prior to starting. And one of the things I remember was tips and tricks for podcasting and, streaming, things like that. And one of them was to come home from your work or whatever, sit down in front of your microphone and hold a 30-minute conversation just with yourself. Just talk for 30 minutes. And I tried to do that for like a week straight. And I don't even remember what I was talking about, but I was literally just talking about random shit. But it helps. Like, I feel like it did something. I don't know. Maybe I still suck at it and I just haven't figured it out, or nobody's been nice enough to tell me on, social media that I suck and I should just give up on life. But
well, we'll make sure that happens now.
Oh, come on now. Don't do me like that.
I just imagine your wife like hearing you from the other room. She's like, who's he talking to? What does he sound
like? You're not in your room where you play games and everything else. Like you're on the John,
right?
Or you're in the backyard or something like that. And she's like, he's going fucking crazy.
She's just listening. You just hear.
He's losing it, man.
I've already lost it, so I can't really lose it anymore.
It's true.
I have too many dangerous chemicals at work. So,
yeah.
I think most of my brain cells are gone.
Yeah. Like I said in a different podcast, soon it's going to be the cold one with the boy.
I heard that. Rip blood pressure.
Oh, yeah, for sure, dude. Oh, it's a bitch, dude. Getting old sucks. I'm not even old. I'm what? How old are we? 27?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. I don't know.
See, now I'm scared because I'm 25.
It's coming, buddy. It's just around the corner. Don't fucking blink. You'll be in the doctor's office with high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it sucks getting old, man. It's already like to that point where it's like, you can't have like fast food all the time anymore. You're gonna shit your brains out, buddy. So, yeah, just a lot of things are changing. I feel like parts of my hairline are thinning now, and I'm like, that's freaking me out because that's one of my.
Oh, don't get me started with that.
Dude, I got the cul-de-sac starting to form on the back of my head. I'm low key getting scared.
I am truly terrified of that.
It's
half of my identity is the hair.
Oh God.
That's where I keep my power.
Yeah, you with your long hair.
You have an epic beard, so for you it would work if you were bald up top. You just look like a Viking, You could pull it off. I don't know about that.
Mine looks like pubes on my face.
Because I look at my brother and he's just like squeaky clean on the top, and it scares me.
Does he?
And I look at my grandpa and he's squeaky clean on the top, but his back's like a goddamn Wookiee. And that scares me even more. It's like, I'm gonna wake up one day, I'm gonna be a werewolf everywhere, but on the top of my head.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm
gonna look like a werewolf monk. It's gonna be bad.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, it happens and it sucks, but we gotta change our lifestyles to actually grow old. If you don't want to die by the time you're 35.
Dude, I'm probably checking out early. Like, it's a sad topic, like when I think about it, and my wife hates it when I talk about it too. But
how early are you checking out? Like, come on.
Like 65.
Okay, that's not really early. That's like,
dude, that's like you're not even AARP yet. Like, you can't even retire at 65 anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think retirement age is what, 68, 70?
I think it's still 65.
Is it 65?
I think it is still 65.
I think it used to be 60, and it went up to 65.
You know how shitty you're gonna be working till you're 65 years old, and then you're just gonna die.
Dude,
that's what's going to happen.
Though, there is a statistic that I read that after you retire, usually there's a lot of people that die within the first few years of retirement because your body's so used to working your whole life that when it has nothing to do, it literally kills itself.
That's crazy. I could see it happening, though.
That makes sense.
Like your body's so used to it. So especially if emotionally you feel that way as well, like if you had a great career and you're done and you just kind of retire and you just sit at home all day and do nothing and don't work on anything, like maybe a passion, like you literally, like your mind has nothing left to live for. So it starts, you just start like getting bad health problems.
Damn, we going deep now.
You feel like you've lost your purpose, so everything just deteriorates.
Right, I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, it all stems
Exactly.
from the brain.
So I plan to work until I die. So I don't want to really ever retire. There's always
Yeah, well-
like, there's, like I've called myself this before, like, and I don't know if this sounds arrogant or not, but I feel like I want to be like a jack of all trades. Like I want to know a little bit of everything. And so even if I have a great career in something, I think I'll always have something that I can look to get better at. So I don't know.
I've always had that mindset growing up because I was growing up to have that mindset. Don't worry about being the best at one thing. Be pretty good at a bunch of different things.
Especially
And
nowadays.
Always learn something new.
Yeah. Especially nowadays.
That was something that my dad told me every day. He's like, "Did you learn something new today?" Or, "Hey, we learned something new today. Something different, something new. Always try something new. Always learn something new."
Yeah.
And that's always stuck with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, especially nowadays with like, you try to get a job, like a programming job, and they're like, well, okay, you know programming. Do you also know graphic design or some of this data entry stuff? Do you know IT? Do you know stuff about computers? And they want more and more and more out of you because they know people are learning all those things. So the standards are really high. And that's why you kind of have to make yourself a jack of all trades in the industry that you work in. You kind of have to pry your fingers into everything to get anywhere. So that's just the way it is.
Oh my God, don't do that. Do not ever take up singing as a career.
I didn't plan to, but you know what? Maybe before I retire, that's going to be one of those things, man.
It's an hour-long singing podcast.
Hell
Yes.
yeah, dude. I'm not gonna listen to it, but yeah, I'll tweet it for you.
Hey, what if I've been secretly taking singing lessons and one day I come out and I'm like the next Freddie Mercury? Like, come on.
Dude, I'll support you 100%, but I probably still won't listen to the music.
He'll probably keep you on the background, but have you just turn down really, really, really low.
I really have the worst friend in the world.
Hey, he said he's supporting you.
What more do you
That's all
want,
you can ask for.
dude?
I guess he's being
Monka
honest. But he's
ass,
like,
man.
I guess he's being honest, but he's just like, yeah, I'll support you, but I'm not gonna listen to that shit. What a fucking dickbag.
Yeah.
Speaking
I
of-
mean, what is, before we get off this topic, if you had one thing, you want to learn all these other things, if there was one thing that you could sit down and have the time to learn and you could 100% successfully learn it, by taking the course, what is one of those things that you would want to do? Or if you could have a specific skill set, what would that be?
God,
I would probably say, either animation or graphic design.
All right.
in this,
Because doing something with my hands and making something visual is always something that's always pleased me. And I've always been a big fan of animation and video games and graphic design and art, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
in this job market, probably
No. Money aside, nothing having to do with money. Like you had all the money in the world. Just a specific skill set that you would like to have, you would like to know how to do these things. Like, is there anything?
Yeah, I was thinking of that as a hobby aspect,
I wish I had
not a career aspect.
the vocabulary of Jordan Peterson.
So well versed,
Yeah,
like a dictionary vocabulary.
Yeah, I wish like
Human thesaurus.
I guess just being more knowledgeable in everything, and it's not like the world's over. There's plenty of time for me to learn more. But that's one big thing. If I was to go through with like a skill set instead of maybe something like intelligence, I mean, in these times, I would definitely want to go for something like esports. Like if I was just good at video games, like naturally, like really good, that'd be pretty awesome.
This is probably, I don't know, this probably stems from me growing up and things like that with the jobs that my parents did. But if there was any skill set that I could just be endowed with, or, you know, whatever, like, you know how to do this, it would have to be something medical related, you know, surgeon, emergency medicine, something like that. Like, I would never do that as a job, I don't think. But just to have that skill set of, you know, somebody fucking falls down on the street. Probably because I've watched too many of these TV shows, but just be able to run up and help that person that's dying on the side of the road and like save their life. I don't know that there could be any better feeling. Plus, it's just practical. Like, what better thing could you have than knowing how to save yourself? Maybe it's because I'm going through this whole freaking health debacle issue where my blood pressure is going up. I have ribs and stuff popping out of place. I feel like my body's starting to deteriorate. Like, it would just be nice to know that what the human body does and what you can do with it, I guess.
God, you're so depressing.
What are you talking about? Are you telling me you wouldn't like to be able to have the skill set to save somebody's life?
I do. I just.
I feel like I can just picture Nathan Googling, what can I shoot myself with to cure my high blood pressure? And then you're checking on WebMD. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, I'm dying by the end of this sentence. Cool.
And Nathan's favorite website's WebMD.
Oh, what a hypochondriac. I'm not a hypochondriac, dude.
What is a hypochondriac?
Hypochondriac is somebody that hears like symptoms and things like that and like thinks that they have the disease, or they'll make themselves sick and then like go to the doctor just so the doctor can be like, oh, well, you have this, this, and this, and they can get medicines for it. I don't know. Like they almost believe themselves into being sick and unhealthy.
Yeah, they hype themselves up to thinking that they're sick.
Right. Hypochondriac. There you go.
Isn't that called Munchausen? Munchausen?
Munchausen's is a form of hypochondria, I think.
Yeah, Munchausen is like where you fake illness to kind of get attention.
Yeah. Pretty much. But they become hypochondriacs. I hope that's the right word, because if we put this out, I feel like if I'm using the wrong word, I'm going to get in trouble. But they do it.
I've watched Scrubs. I can confirm.
Okay, see, here we go. I'm a Grey's Anatomy fan, but we're on the same page. They go to the extent of actually like poisoning themselves to go to the doctor to get attention, basically. So
yeah,
anyways,
it's pretty severe Munchausen, pretty much. But all right, well, we've pretty much almost burnt through an hour, so we're gonna go into our random question and kind of close everything out. So, this kind of might have been answered. I'm not sure, but the random question I have for you is like, what's your like guilty pleasure game that it's obviously it's like weird that I'm asking you on a public podcast what your guilty pleasure game is that you don't want to tell anybody, but what's that game you don't want to tell anybody that you play?
I feel like this is a horrible question to ask. Because one thing, I don't own the game, but there is a game I saw recently. It's like, I have to buy this game. And it's called Galgun VR. And it is the dumbest thing and it's the worst thing, but I want to get this game.
I'm gonna have to Google this now. Galgun VR.
Because if you can find Let's Plays of the original Galgun games on YouTube. It's these high school anime girls are taken over by demons, and they're trying to send their love to you, and you can't let them do that. So you just have to like shoot them with your love gun. And then just make like cute noises and anime girl noises, and then once you build up enough, you can like bomb everybody in the area with these horrible love sound effects, and they put it into VR, and I'm like, I have to get this game.
Yeah, I watched
my inner weeaboo needs this.
I watched someone on Twitch play this, and I was really surprised that they were allowed to stream it. Because there's like the part I saw was apparently this, like, one of the girls in the game looks out the window to like wave to one of her friends, and the window shuts on her waist, so her butt is sticking on the inside of the classroom. And you have to like you as the like the player have to poke her butt in different places to get the window up somehow. I have no idea, but that's what it looked like.
Yeah, hit her in the Kuhn spot.
Yeah.
That's the entire
punch
game.
That
dude.
peach, dude.
Imagine playing that in VR. It's weeaboo heaven, dude.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean, there you go.
Oh shit,
Nathan, what's your little guilty pleasure game you like to play?
dude! I don't play.
Top that.
I don't play games other than World of Warcraft. So,
So that
there was
IRL
one
game.
one I played way back in the day. It was called Leisure Suit Larry. And
I love that
yeah, you were on a cruise ship, dude.
That's hysterical.
And that was probably my first experience with weeaboo titties. Like, what's the word I'm
hold on.
looking for here?
Jiggle
By-
physics.
By guilty pleasure, I don't mean like sexual stuff, guys. Jesus Christ.
That's the only other game that I could think of that I wouldn't want to tell anybody that I used to play.
Because guilty pleasure would mean that you have some sort of shame behind it and be like, oh man, my guilty pleasure's fucking Minecraft, dude.
Well, I'll tell you mine. And like, I don't know why I'm ashamed to play this, because there's a lot of guys that play this. I don't know. But every time I turn on The Sims, I like put myself on invisible. I don't even know why.
What do you mean?
It's just every once in a while I like to play The Sims, and just like it happens like once a year where I'll play The Sims for like a week, because I'm like, man, The Sims sounds
turn
really fun
yourself
right
on
now.
invisible on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay,
In real
yeah.
life, I turn myself invisible. Dude.
I was trying to put two and two together, dude. I couldn't get it.
Back to the superhero topic. But no. Speaking of The Sims, have you ever read Sims patch notes?
No.
Take the time to do that whenever you get the
my
chance.
God.
Just look up patch notes for any Sims game, and you'll probably enjoy it way more than you should, and it'll probably turn into an even more guilty pleasure.
Why? What?
You'll just see.
Oh God. Now I have to check it right after the podcast. But no, I don't know what it is. Like I just feel really nerdy playing The Sims.
World of Warcraft is probably the one for me. Like, I don't really tell people that I play WoW because it's not something you can just
say
like
it
bring
all the
up
time
and
on a podcast, and you talk about it every fucking day.
that. Yeah, but like people you've never met before, or you go to a new job. Like you go to a new job day one, people are like, "Oh, what do you do?" "I play World of Warcraft." Like that's not what you say, dude. You're like, "Oh, I'm a gamer," and they're like, "Oh, what do you play?" You're like, "Oh, I do some like first-person shooters." You know, the Call of Duties, Battlefields. They're like, what? You're like, nothing?
You must have a lot of guilt.
What do you mean?
I mean, if you're like, if that's your guilty
'Cause
pleasure to play WoW.
it would be more impressive to say, "Oh man, battle pets on World of Warcraft, dude, that's my guilty pleasure." I want to play Pokemon inside World of Warcraft.
know-
That's
I
my
hate
guilty
that
pleasure.
shit, dude.
Funny thing about that, in the new patch notes for WoW, they actually announced pet battle dungeons,
Yeah, dude. How the fuck?
where you're going to be able to go through a dungeon pet battling.
Like multiple bosses. It'll be a
Yeah,
thing.
I don't get that, but there is a community for it. People
Mhm.
do like their pet battles.
I think they were supposed to be in Legion too, but they never did it.
Well,
So, anyways.
anyway, man, I had a lot of fun. I hope you did as well.
Oh yeah, this is an absolute blast.
Corokov. Do you hate when people say it like that? All right, good. No,
You have to get used to it after doing it for how many years? Like 10 plus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
no. If people want to reach out to you or come see your Twitch channel or see any of your content creation, what are some links they can go to?
Twitch.tv/Corokov. I've got the YouTube channel, Twitter. I've also got a Patreon with all the same tag. It's Corokov, COROKOV.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty. Well, with that said, we will see you all next week.
Goodbye.
Later.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Thank you so much for listening to the episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and even if you didn't, we would love to hear your feedback, which can be sent to cold1podcast@gmail.com or leave us a review on iTunes. It helps us gauge how we can make this podcast better for your enjoyment. If you would like to contact us, you can do that through our email or follow us on social media, which is @Cold1Podcast for Twitter and Facebook. We are now on Spotify as well as most podcast apps in existence, but if you prefer to listen to it online, head on over to our website, actionsperminute.net, for the latest episodes, a link to the APM Network Discord, or to check out any of our APM sponsored streamers. And lastly, if you like what we do, tell your friends and spread the good word. Thank you again, and remember, don't drink and drive.